But if you continue to like, comment, and subscribe, we'll take a boat here the next time we play. The
How about
Buffalo
this?
Plus. What is the name of the Buffalo Plus boat? Credit to me. That's
it. Credit to me. I can see us with a bottle of champagne christening it.
Yeah.
Credit to me. Hey everybody, welcome to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel presented by Connors and Ferris, Mike Catalano, along with Dan Fates. Let's get this started with, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We've got the shades on.
in the Inner Harbor. Downtown Baltimore.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Look at this.
Saturday. Now, Dan Fates is shooting the game on the field tomorrow, so what does that mean?
Rain.
You know it always seems to happen.
But if you continue to like, comment, and subscribe, we'll take a boat here the next time we play. The
How about
Buffalo
this?
Plus. What is the name of the Buffalo Plus boat? Credit to me. That's
it. Credit to me. I can see us with a bottle of champagne christening it.
Yeah.
Credit to me.
It's beautiful here though right now.
So we're going to get you ready for Sunday night's game with the 5 players to watch. Now we know it's Josh and Lamar.
Yep.
It's Josh and Lamar. I mean, the MVP, and I believe ESPN has already crowned Josh as the MVP for this year.
Lamar's the 2-time and the reigning MVP.
MVP. And Josh is off to a great start. They're matching up, but we're going to start. Number one, a guy Bills fans know well.
Yep.
A guy they got to slow down Sunday night. Derrick Henry.
It's a guy that Josh Norman still sees in his nightmares.
Poor guy. Poor Josh Norman's going to be sitting home on his couch.
That is true.
And he's going to see himself flying in the air from Tennessee.
Yeah. Obviously, he spent most of his career in Tennessee. Sean McDermott said this week that it is a match made in heaven. Derrick Henry now joining up with the Ravens. That kind of physical style of game. Also, it is kind of spooky with the way that this dock moves.
That's what water does.
Okay.
By the way, that water looks kind of dirty. I'm just saying.
We're
above it all.
They're making it black for the blackout that they're going to have
Tomorrow night.
Yeah. But it's also Sean also went on to say he's a once in a lifetime running back. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and at 30 years old, his play hasn't really dropped off by any means. Last year there was some talk about it. I think that's why the Titans moved on, went to get younger, but he has looked as dynamic, and he looked like himself from 7 years ago last week against Dallas.
He looked pretty good in Kansas City in moments.
Yep.
But this past week against Dallas, he dominated. Now, I think that Dallas rush defense, though they came back against the Giants and played better, the Giants don't have that great a running game. But against Dallas, I mean, he was every bit what the Ravens would have wanted from Derrick Henry. He controlled the game. He was a dominant player.
Yeah.
They couldn't tackle him. And that allowed Baltimore to control that football game till Dallas started to throw it late and started to make a comeback.
Sure.
But he is that type of player. And look, the Bills have seen that from him.
Yep.
They saw that certainly in Tennessee. If you remember that Monday night game, he made that long run. Poor Jordan Poyer, trying to bring him down in the open field. Now, like you said, it's a few years later, but in moments and maybe for games, he still looks like a hell of a player.
Vaughn talked about the first time watching Week 1 against the Chiefs and seeing Lamar run the ball and then seeing Derrick Henry in this true, really thunder and lightning kind of aspect. He's like, that seems really difficult to stop.
By the way, should we throw a coin in the jar every time Vaughn says how many years he's been in the NFL?
Be very good to charity.
He said 14. Again, he loves saying that, but he has seen a lot in this league, and he's playing well.
Yes.
But they're going to need him. They're going to need all the guys in the run defense.
Yeah.
But the guy I want to focus on, our second player, is a player who, when you think of run defense for this team, at least as a specialty for him, what he's known for, Daquan Jones, kind of quiet so far. Yeah. But they're going to need a big game.
And when the Bills struggled midway through last season with stopping the run, it was my thought was, well, you're missing Daquan Jones. Been kind of quiet this year. The Bills, again, if there has been one thing that you can try and nitpick about this team so far this year, it's they haven't been great against the run. They were really kind of getting gashed by Miami before that game got away. Arizona was able to run the ball on them. Again, a physical running back, similar to Derrick Henry and James Conner. So Daquan needs to kind of make his mark. We know Ed's going to get pressure on the quarterback. We know he can make those explosive splash plays, tackles for losses, but it's going to need to be that consistency of, as Daquan likes to say, a man whooping another man, eating double teams. He needs to free up guys for Dorian Williams and for Balin Spector to slide in and make tackles.
When you watch a team like Baltimore run the football, the thing about, I mean, even when you know where Derrick Henry's going, that doesn't mean you can bring him down.
Absolutely.
It has to be a population to the ball.
They
That's
said
why
that was a big buzzword
this
week.
And that's why it's not all on Daquan. It's not like he's got to make all the tackles, but he has to control that part of the line of scrimmage. Also, you're worried about Lamar in the run game, and when he can make that play where he puts the ball in the back's gut, I will tell you this, he is vastly superior to that Josh Allen. Josh is not great at the RPO, at the handoff.
Yeah.
I don't think he fools anybody on those. Lamar is very good at it. And then when he comes out of it with the ball, it takes absolute discipline by the defensive players against him.
You said discipline. I will say gap integrity, another one of Sean McDermott's buzzwords. That is where, as a defender, so badly you just want to go and make the play. And you want to try and break up that mesh of that, when the quarterback puts the ball in the running back's belly. You really have to do your best to try and just contain. You're not going to stop Lamar Jackson from having explosive runs. Sean McDermott added it, talked about it. You just want to win more than you lose. Do your job, do your 111th. Lamar's going to make some guys make silly, but it's the constant pressure, containment, discipline that is going to be paramount for the Bills' running defense success.
Yeah, no question. And listen, Baltimore has blown some leads and given up points late in games. It happened in the Raiders game. It almost cost them the Dallas game. But you still want the lead on Baltimore for the reason of you do put them in a position where they need to throw the ball. And it's tough to say this about an MVP quarterback, but you want to force Lamar to throw the football, don't you?
Yeah, even they talked about the throw against Dallas, the third down that pretty much sealed the game. And everybody talks about, it was a good throw. It still doesn't look as comfortable as you would like it to be if you're a Ravens fan. Things like that, I still think that it's a win every time Lamar throws the ball out of his hand.
Mark Andrews has been the guy here for a long time.
Very
he
quiet.
Has been underneath, Kelsey, probably the second best tight end in the NFL during his time. Not a lot going on. He had some injuries. He had a car accident. A lot of reasons. Isaiah Likely flashed certainly in that first game. Nearly made, which could have turned a lot of things around. He almost had the touchdown on the last play of the game. They were going to go for two. They could have won the game. He's their number one pass-catching tight end right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sunday night, maybe it'll be different. Maybe Andrews gets going again, but he's a different kind of player, and he's really shown up.
Much to the lack of success that Lamar has historically had against the Bills, has never really thrown for more than 160 yards. Mark Andrews has really kind of been held in check by Buffalo in his career. So it's Isaiah Likely is kind of stepping in right now and being that he's that Dalton Kincaid. He's their guy that is the wide receiver for them that
he can
just
get
happens
down the
to play.
field too. He's
run. Got speed, he's got size, that kind of dynamic player. So again, it's pressure on Dorian Williams, it's pressure on Balen Spector, it's pressure on Cam Lewis, all of those things. And we've already talked about Lamar and Derrick Henry, like the weapons there. We could also add Zay Flowers in to try and neutralize all of these things. You can do a great job containing Derrick Henry, but then you don't want to get beat by all these other options.
Absolutely. Let's go to the Bills side of the ball. And the guy who is Mr. Consistency, right now number one receiver on the team.
Yeah.
The numbers, you're not winning your fantasy league strictly on his play, but you'd like to have him on your team because he's very consistent. Khalil Shakir's been outstanding.
He's caught 27 straight regular season targets. That is tied the NFL record with Michael Thomas, formerly of the New Orleans Saints. So he can set an NFL record if he catches the first pass thrown at him tonight. Jenna picked him as this guy to lead the Bills in receiving yards this year.
Credit to her.
Credit to her. She is well on her way to winning that. He's just done it in a different way than what we thought that you would be a number one guy. It's not necessarily a ton of downfield stuff. It's a ton of mid-range and then breaking tackles, extending plays, yards after the catch. That's where he's been so dynamic. And so, it's dumb to say sure-handed, but he's just been so dependable.
Yeah, I have to accept something. People would say to me in the comments that he reminds them of Andre Reed. Now, I covered all of Andre's career. He has a gold jacket, loves that jacket, tremendous player. And I know what you're saying is, we're not saying he's Andre Reed.
Right.
But I will say this, he does a lot of things in a similar way. Andre wasn't the fastest guy in the world. tough as nails, run after the catch, dependable.
Yeah.
Dependable makes him sound less than he was. Dependable sometimes is like, yeah, he catches the ball,
Yeah.
makes plays. And when I see Shakir break tackles, get in the end zone, not be afraid to take on contact, I think, it's a fair thing to say he plays the game in a similar way to Andre Reed.
When you think dependable, sometimes I think of like the fifth starter on a baseball team. It's like, well, he takes the ball every fifth day. It's a knock. There is explosiveness to Khalil's game more than I think we originally may have thought when we drafted him. And Sean said it best. Football player. He's just a football player. He keeps the main thing. Like Sean went all Mike Tomlin analogy cliches when he was asked about Khalil Shakir this week. But it's just been Buffalo Bills style. It's like they tried to build the entire offense out of Khalil Shakir.
I'm so excited to see a guy break tackles and get run after catch. And it is a bit contagious. I think other players see that happening. This group of receivers, I think pass catchers, is set up for more of that. I think we will see more run after the catch than we have seen in the past, but he's been great. They do like to run the ball. They like to establish it. James Cook has been good.
Yep.
Josh has bragged about his offensive line, 2 straight games without giving up a sack. They have been very good and very physical in the run game. And how about Spencer Brown?
Phenomenal. Obviously, we talked about it on our Thursday live show and the podcast that came out on Friday. There are reasons and excuses. Spencer Brown's back was a big reason to why he didn't look great his second year in the league. But besides that, you take out that season, he has been everything you could have imagined and more when drafting a guy out of the University of Northern Iowa. He has just been steady, consistency. The Bills look like they have their tackles anchored down and locked in for years to come. Hasn't allowed a pass pressure the last 2 weeks. Has just been outstanding. The consistency, maybe that's the contagious part about this, Mike. Whether it's Khalil and his catching, the offensive line, things like that, it just seems like everything's going well today.
Keep one thing in mind. They haven't really experienced a tough setting this season.
Not.
Arizona was a home game.
Yep.
Home game against Jacksonville, and Miami
is
lame. I mean, it just is. They were excited.
Josh Allen's Southern home.
Exactly. They were excited for a little while, and then that stopped. So not that they haven't experienced this before, but I've talked about this. It's going to be a loud crowd. They're going to do the whole blackout thing.
Yep.
It's going to be electric, especially early. They love defense in Baltimore. So the noise, all those things that play into it for an offensive lineman.
Good point.
Comes into play. Doesn't mean he can't play really well. It just comes into play.
We just checked into our hotel about an hour ago. I was talking to the guy at the desk, and he said, he goes, he feels nervous about this game. He goes, because I kind of feel like our season's on the line. You know, we could have won some games. I'll do a random sports talk guy. Ravens could be 3-0. Like if
they
you
could be.
Like if we want to play that game.
Well, they had Kansas City.
They could be 0-3 with the way that they ended. If they would have been playing any longer against Dallas, the Cowboys may have come back and win that game. So, but the Ravens under John Harbaugh in primetime night games are 20-3. This is something they do extremely well.
Yeah.
What was the finger for?
Josh Allen is 17-6 in night games.
He likes the bright lights as well.
Yeah. Makes for a great game, doesn't it?
This is going to be fun.
By the way, if you look at the Bills, they could be 3-0. Oh, that's right, they are.
How about that?
How about 3-0? That's a great
Just
start.
thinking about our boat.
I know. The SS, credit to me.
We definitely shouldn't.
Jenna, we're bringing one back for you.
We're definitely probably not supposed to be here.
Yeah, we sort of snuck down here, but we're not doing anything wrong. Would we ever do anything wrong?
Never.
You just look like you know where you're going. People leave you alone. It is a beautiful night. But don't worry, it'll rain on Dan tomorrow. I'll be in the press box. All right, that's going to do it for us. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Remember, after the game, it's a late night game podcast, 7 a.m. on Monday. Be ready for it, both audio and video.
If you've made it this far in the video, comment in who you think your key player to the game is. It could be one of the 5 or 6 that we've mentioned, but add yours in as well.
Yeah, we start with 5, but we spread it out.
Yeah, we
love to talk.
Yeah.
Nobody's interrupting us.
Nope.
All right. For Dan Fates and Jenna Cottrell, I'm Mike Catalana. Thanks for watching Buffalo Plus, and we will see you next time.